Hi, Gavin. Mr. Parrish here again. I'm going to take a few minutes and annotate my comments on the response paragraph assignment. A lot of what I saw on here are things you're going to want to improve on before the summary reaction paper. In titles, just as a general rule of titles, the first and last word are always capitalized, so you would capitalize beneficial here. My main comment on the summary paragraph is that it needs structure, and what it actually needs is that and, but, therefore structure we've been working on in the forums. So go back and review that information. If you post the forum for week 3, then I'll try to comment on the same thing, but it really does work, man. When you introduce, and I'll pull up the article in a minute and I'll identify sort of the ands and the buts and the therefore of that article. You've got many of the elements in here, but by not really signaling kind of what the new information is, what the takeaway or the applying information, the as a result, the consequently, the therefore information, then your summary just kind of staggers around here without a point it's trying to make. Now, when you introduce a source, you do use the full name the first time. So you would have something like Mary L. Gavin. I would always replace the signal verb says with something stronger. Chapter 2, they say, I say, has a whole list of strong signal verbs. Find something more appropriate than says. If you're quoting the full sentence, and you appear to be, then you put the comma after the signal verb. You don't need that to do it. You use that when you're connecting a partial quote. So if you had something like Mary L. Gavin suggests that, and then kids spend no more than 2 hours each day with screen time, if you're just quoting part of the sentence, then you'd use that to do it. But otherwise, put the comma after the signal verb. Same would be down in this other one here. When you use the word preventing here, I'm not quite sure what you mean by preventing. Eliminating, banning, I don't know, but preventing gaming doesn't seem to be the right verb there. When you include this second quote, again, includes is probably not a very good signal verb, so we might go with something like Gavin goes on to say, some games might improve kids' hand-eye coordination and problem-solving skills. The second time you mention the author's name, just use the last name. All right. And you quote, and then you put a period, then you put a comma, then you tag on some other information. So you're only allowed one period per sentence. You want to start a new sentence here. Probably that, however, she points out that physical activities are better. And if you're going to say is better, then you want to say better than what? Better than playing video games. All right, that's the summary. We'll look at the article in a second. Now, your response is really limited, and I'll just say this right now. In this class, you can't write a 3-sentence paragraph. A paragraph has a topic sentence, which introduces the topic, and a finishing sentence, which kind of concludes it, which means your paragraph really only has 1 sentence of development. And it's basically just restating something she said. Your response paragraph, if you're agreeing with the author, then what are your own experiences that can develop it? Do you manage your time, physical activity? Do you find that a challenge? What's going on in your own life? So you have a connection to playing video games. You owe the reader more than 1 sentence of development. Now, the works cited page, I see this a lot in student papers when they copy from a website something that has the symbol the ampersand, that's the and symbol. It comes out with this amp semicolon after it. I can't explain it, but you're going to have to look out for it. That's not the way it's published in the source. Now, let me switch and take a look at the original source. Now, on the website for Rady's Children's Hospital, this is the title of the article. I think this is the section, maybe the section of the website or something. So a lot of times with web pages, it's tricky to find the article, but this I think we would identify as the article. Can playing video games be good for kids? Down at the bottom, we're going with Mary L. Gavin. I'm not quite sure what reviewed means, but for my purposes this week, I'm going to accept that she's the author of this piece. And so we'll include that in the citation. I'll go back to that before we close. Now, if you look at what she's trying to do, she's responding to this letter from a concerned parent. She begins by saying that there may be some benefits of video games. That's actually where you kind of conclude your summary. This seems to me to be the ands. That's sort of something like Mariel Gavin points out that there are some benefits of video games. They're good for hand-eye coordination and problem-solving skills. Maybe they're good for social activities. Kids can play online. She's got a number of things there. But the big but of this is what she gets down here, is that too much gaming is not good for kids. Therefore, I think it's this alternative, balance the time on games with physical activities. That's the structure of the piece, and that and but therefore narrative structure can help you summarize anything. It's absolutely flat out true. You can summarize anything effectively using that strategy. So rely on that when you do this next assignment. So back on your citation, then we're going to have that her name, the author's name first, right? Then the title. You've got it in quotation marks, but we just have the wrong title. The rest of this is exactly the way we would do it. This is the name of the website, I think, and good enough, this is the URL. But remember, if you have an author's name, then you want to lead with that in the citation, because it's the author's name, Gavin, that should appear here. That's how I connect the source on the Works Cited page to the source in the paper. All right? Hope this is helpful to you. See you later.